Good morning, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. Thank you for doing the point with me. I appreciate
know.
that.
I've been trained.
So we are coming to you live here from the PhD Speed Gaming Expo, bringing you all the board game coverage all day long. And we are joined with the one, the only, the Julie from Greenbrier Games. That's you.
Oh, hi.
How you doing today, Julie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Always fun having you on. I know you've got a little bit of experience with us, with the folklore streams, the conventions, all of the spotlights that we've done. And I'm pretty sure that we've showed off everything in your catalog.
Everything.
Except for the newest of the folklore expansions.
So I brought it.
I mean, you have to at this point, right?
Right. Well, and like you said, we've been doing the ongoing Folklore Core game on your channel on Wednesdays. So
Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there.
So this is amazing. But a couple of times during the show, we have alluded to certain things that have happened in the first expansion. So our second expansion just finished on Kickstarter, and that was great. But
That's
this
the
is
Fall of the Spire.
Fall of the Spire. But this is our first expansion that just came out in retail. So I thought that I'd bring it so that we could take a look at it. It hasn't been getting the love that the other two have been getting recently. So I thought
Let's change that.
maybe its time has come. So if you know anything about folklore, that's great. But if you don't, let me explain it for just a moment.
Perfect.
So folklore is our RPG style tabletop game. And what that means is you are playing in a board game format. And so you have a character that you have already been given and you pick from a series. So to give you an example from Dark Tales, we have the Butcher, who is, think of him almost like he's kind of a medic kind of character. So he's a healer sort of, but he's more one that's like if you're in battle and you're on the field, that kind of a medic.
Oh, so like a crude barber surgeon?
Yes.
Kind of?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Or you might want a more straightforward, just melee specialist. So you might want to go with the Slayer.
All right. She looks like a badass.
She's crazy.
I like it.
Yep. You don't want to cross her. So you can pick a variety of characters, and they have different types of classes, if you want to use that term to be more familiar. We call them focuses, and you get a choice of one or two. So it's pared down, you still have choice. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you go on an adventure. And instead of having a GM, you use a story journal. So in the core game, we have 6 stories. We're working through our second one on the show.
It took us a while to get through the first one.
It did. A little bit. Well, new.
Yeah.
First time.
Yeah.
This one has 9. So it's,
it has a
by
lot more
comparison, it's a big mamma jamma. So
like
it's got a lot of details. And so this is one where also in the core game, your first couple stories have quite a bit of tutorial to them. Mm-hmm. These have 2 major story arcs. So these are more of a campaign feel. So that's something that's different about it. So you've gotten through the core game, you've learned how to play it, you're now immersed in the world. Now you're doing more of a campaign style. You still can stop and put it away if you want to, because that is part of the beauty of having it be a tabletop format.
Absolutely.
But if you want it to be more of a campaign, it does have more of a campaign feel. Some of the other cool things that we have that are new in this expansion are specifically, we have heirlooms, which are, so we have our regular items, which are a variety of mundane things that you can get. But heirlooms, you can only acquire based on the story, so they are much more significant, much more powerful, and are earned specifically through the narrative, and then once you get them.
Very cool. So let's see some examples of some of these heirloom cards.
Sure. Let's see, we've got...
Please tell me that there is a tomato, an heirloom tomato.
There is not an heirloom tomato. I didn't bring the recipes and crafting deck, or we maybe could find one in there, but no, I don't. So, for example, a pearl trinket.
Ooh. So this pearl trinket, heal 1d4 extra Vita when resting. So that's a permanent one.
That's one that you earn. Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty swanky.
And as you can see, like a lot of our items you can sell. These are not something you can sell either.
Because they're priceless?
Sure. What is the sentimentality of it? So
I mean, a pocket watch, that's Grandpa's pocket watch.
That's right.
Your timing is impeccable. Receive
Or
+1
vampires.
stride.
You know, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. No spoilers, right?
I'm a storyteller. I can make things up on the fly. It can become, and then it can be part of the lore later. You never know. So those one of the examples. Our biggest contribution, I think, that happened that people went a little crazy for, to the point where now I've been backed into a corner and I'm writing many, many more of them, are the rumor cards. So the rumor cards, which this is just the cover, but just so that you can see what the cover of the deck looks like, are side quests. So while people do like the bite-sized storytelling, sometimes even that is more, or maybe they just want to play by, you have a lot of solo players who don't want to do a full campaign, who just want to do a side quest because they're doing it on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So to give an example of these, you have, in a very compact, succinct format, a miniature story.
So I'll read through this one then?
Sure. So we're gonna give one spoiler.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. Rebellion. Urek, a malcontent, has threatened the officials of Wayland Point after some of his comrades were persecuted there. Rumors have surfaced that Urek has mobilized a force in Darkenbow Forest to take control of the town. You must stop him before his plans cause death and anarchy. So travel to Darkenbow. The trees close in around you. Unhappy with your presence, skirmish with dark oaks. Oh, so we get to fight the trees.
Continue.
All right. One character must pass an awareness 5. So success, flip this card. Failure, unable to locate him, you give up. Days later, Uruk attacks the town, making the market in Wayland's Point unavailable for the next story. Discard this rumor. Well, that's cool.
So you can so you start with a skirmish. So it's a small story. Start with a skirmish. Success or failure on a skill check leads you to either flip the card to continue the narrative or lose a whole part of a town, access to it. If you do, then you flip.
All right, and so this is, you discover Urik's trail and locate him and his band of followers. One character must pass a speech 8 to convince him to abandon such plans. So if you succeed, you make him see reason and disband, and his group disbands. Gain a boon. So boon are those one-time use helpful
One-time
cards.
use, right. So it could be an extra turn. It could be a +5 might to your attack. It could be any number of just a small, oh, hey, that's helpful kind of moments.
And unfortunately, if you fail, which a speech 8 isn't the easiest thing in the world to pass.
Speech 8, yep. Since it's a D10 that you're rolling, no.
You must encounter Urik and his band as shown on the right. Then it gives you like a little setup of the encounter that you're going to have with Urik.
So just to show you, and I don't know if that particular which
Wood Mother's Entrance.
The Wood Mother's Entrance. I'm not going to hunt for it. I'm going to just give a map just to give an example of what a map would look like. Right there.
Do it in the board cam there.
Oh, we have them. So we'll just put them on. So you would set up any number of the maps that we have based on the picture, which you also do in the stories, and then you would put your characters and standees where they are shown on the map, and you would do a combat.
Very cool.
So that is how that works. And just to give an example of what a card looks like during combat, I'm going to pull out the Doppelganger just because we had an early run-in with one of the off-road cards, the many off-road cards we've done in our story.
We're going off-roading.
We go off. We don't go on the road.
Where we're going,
we don't even take the road less
roads.
traveled by. We just run directly through the countryside, screaming and tra-la-lang as we go.
It's more scenic.
But there was one incident where Anne decided to follow the pretty lights.
Yeah.
And they were wisps, which you now will be able to see in The Fall of the Spire. However, then those wisps took us to a pool, and we looked into it, and we saw a reflection of ourselves.
Found a cave.
Right.
Found
Ourselves,
a cave,
and then
saw
we
a
had to
reflection
fight
of
ourselves. Well, that was the precursor to the doppelganger, which is here.
That's he's scary looking.
He's terrifying.
Yeah. So Doppelganger, we see a bunch of the stats on the left-hand side. So it gives you his Vita count based on the amount of players, his might bonus, and he gets a +10 might even at dusk. Okay, so he's mean. 55 defense, 6 stride. You get a whole bunch of lore and coins for defeating him. And he's got some special powers. And
Because you're hurting yourself.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting
Right.
yourself.
He's you.
For a 2 to 3 character game,
or she's me.
The Doppelganger receives 2 attacks per round. For 4 to 5 characters, receives 4 attacks per round. It will target a different character for each attack if possible. The Doppelganger recovers 1d4 Vita at the start of its turn. Oh, man. That's mean.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
So these are some of the unique things that you can find in Dark Tales. So I wanted to point those out just because if anybody's been tuning in for the core game, some things that you can look forward to if you continued on past the core game. So that was part of it. And then also, just to share some of the other things that we have as accessories for Folklore, the character record sheet, which I don't know if we've been using on, because we've had our handy little stats that you've been showing on the screen.
We do have the digital overlay. I believe Josh has procured some of those character sheets that we've been
fantastic. So we
recording our
have
stuff
those,
down.
which
Highly recommend. It makes
Right.
things a heck of a lot easier.
another fun accessory are the tracker cards. So again, when you're not on a screen and having it done digitally for you, these are kind of a neat way to keep track of your both foes and your own stats.
I like it.
Yeah. And then finally, I have the Dark Oak miniature.
The tree.
Yes, the Colossal Dark Oak, which is super fun and also partially a toy because he has 2 different heads and 2 different types of arms. So you can have more the tree guy. Here, I'm going to let you put them together.
All right. This is really cool.
Maybe. Maybe I'm going to put them together.
And not as strong as I thought. Okay. No, that came apart.
You good?
I think so. Nope,
No?
I'm not. No.
Oh,
I
sad.
tried.
Oh, he's a tough one. No, he's good. He's fine.
I warmed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's totally what it was.
And then little arm.
I like that it's like a posable figure.
Yeah. Of course, now that I'm on camera, I'm going to have difficulty with one. I've never had a problem putting one together. That's going to be great. Here, let's try a different arm. See if you work.
It's because it's humid here in Florida, you know?
It's the humidity in Florida?
Yeah.
Sure, let's go with that.
I mean, everyone knows wood swells when it gets humid. So
So does PVC.
no, it's
Plastic?
a wood guy. It's a tree.
No. Now I'm just sad. I'm just going to put this. I'm going to just hide it. Now I'm hiding it in shame. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm a little sad.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Sorry, not sorry.
So that's the Colossal Dark Oak.
Oh, so I mean, I love the miniatures.
But that is the spread of some of the things that you can get for Folklore.
I love the miniatures that you've got associated with the game. So Doppelganger has a miniature associated with it as well, right?
It
In the
does. It
Fall
has
of
a new
the
miniature
Spire.
coming out with Fall of the Spire. It will be in retail separately. So for the Kickstarter, we did the big creature crate that has all of them in them. But for retail, we're going to be packaging them separately, and they'll each look like a book because
that's cool.
Stories. So each set will be sold, so you can buy a book of the monsters from each of the different, the core, the expansions, and you just get a book. So and then you can put them up, and they look like hardbound books.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's that little
They're going to be
extra
pretty. That's a little
finishing
preview because
stuff.
I actually just saw the specs for them
Oh.
yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Day before yesterday. Day before yesterday was the first time I saw them. They looked really cool.
Hot off the presses.
Yeah, there you go. Not quite there yet, but but they will be.
All right. So, Julie, what else is going on at Greenbrier Games? I see you brought an arsenal.
Oh,
of games.
So not that we're going to pull them out or anything, but just a reminder because we're here at PhD that the giveaway for the retailers was Barbarian Battlegrounds.
Love Barbarians.
Yeah, which is our cute but stabby dice roll. Use your dice as a resource to either attack, defend, or gather resources to build stronger, faster, better bears. And chock full of puns. So many puns. All of them terrible.
I could barely stand it.
It was unbearable.
Let's take a pause to appreciate that.
Well, we don't want to panda to the audience, but so let's move on.
Okay.
Okay.
I was trying to think of another one. I couldn't think of one off the top of my head. You win.
And then we have by the same designers. Champions of Horror came out this winter, and that is now available in retail as well.
Same designer, but I think that they're very different styles of games. You
So-
might even say that they're polar
Opposites.
I had to sneak one in there. I'm
Although I
sorry.
will say the sensibility of silliness, while also having an underlying level of dark undertones, is pretty similar. And they were actually slap happy while they were designing Hara and made a bad bear pun, which led to the design.
Oh,
of the
really?
bear. Yes. Literally designed it pretty much in a couple of hours because they were so giddy from having worked on Hara.
So it's a spiritual relative.
It is. It was.
And
it
I
was
believe
their-
there is a bear in horror too, right?
Oh yeah, there's so one of the major characters that you can play has a rock bear that he has the ability to move Earth, and so he has used it to make his own very own pet rock bear, like you do. And then finally, our newest release is Helios Expanse, which we've been playing here at PhD. We played that all yesterday.
I've got a little bit of PTSD from when I played Helios Expanse with you, Julie.
I know, because I was so mean to you.
To be fair, I deserved it.
You did. You
I,
did.
for lack of a better term, poked the bear in the beginning of that game. And Julie was the bear.
Yep.
And bear bit back.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
playing dead didn't work.
Well, so because typically I try to be nice and I try to be more of an educator and teaching people how to play.
You taught me a lesson, all right.
But being I was the developer for Helios, so I know it inside and out. And so you decided I'm going to go after Julie. That'll be fun. And I don't know what it was that day because usually I'm like, okay, well we're on a show, so that's okay. Ha ha ha.
We tend to bring out the best in people here at Twist Gaming.
I've always been good and rolled with it. That was like the day I snapped it. I was like, no, no more. And then I won.
I'm glad that I could be that catalyst.
It was a catharsis for me, at least.
Yeah,
I
it's
felt
fine.
better. So yeah, that's what I have.
All right, so where can our viewers go to find more information about all of the games that you showed us, as well as everything else from Greenbrier Games?
That would be greenbriergames.com, and it's BRIER games.com.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Julie, thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
And thank all of you for watching at home.
Yeah,
We're going to take a
thanks,
brief
guys.
intermission, but we'll be back later today with more coverage from this PhD Speed Gaming Expo. But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Julie.
Have a good one, everyone.